You have like a pepper flake, yeah, or something. Yeah, and that tooth is still there. Well, it's not showing up on camera, so.
Yeah, no, it's on this side.
You know, it's summer in Arizona. What are you gonna do? Everything's slow. Everyone's down. It's that cycle.
See this?
Adorable.
It started with the paper binder and the clip, so that I could clip my hat to the seat of the airplane, so I don't have to wear my hat on the airplane. As you imagine, that can be a thing. So it started with that.
Yeah.
And then I realized everybody has these for their conference.
Yes.
So now I can clip it like that. I don't need two necessarily, but this is the other kind of ID badge thing. That's what this is right here. Yeah, so that's my one bag travel tip. All you really need is these little carabiners.
That's
Tiny little,
It's also reduce, reuse, recycle. So good job.
yeah. So
Those conference clips end up in the trash every day.
that's right. What anyone who doesn't have, I mean, you can use it for baseball. Yes, I know they have the little ring and there's a little more flexibility on what you can do with it, but it's just very elegant, light.
Yeah.
And you don't have to-
Perfect.
You could, you know, the literature they put in the slot, you can even clip it to that because you don't need very much support, right? So, this is my other my new travel edition. I am now rocking a seat cushion because a 4.5 hour flight in coach,
Broke you?
it broke me, yeah. And you don't even have to fill it up that much, just a little bit, so you can, when you lean on one cheek.
It's not a burden.
Yeah.
All
yeah.
right.
Yeah. So but it just goes right behind the little, my backpack thing. I mean, I could fold it up and put it in its bag, but
It looks like it's inflatable, yeah.
that way you can just wing it out and
Under the butt.
you can pretend it's for your back. And
Okay.
kinda just scooch it down. Made a huge difference, man. I don't know what it is, man.
Good.
I don't know. So that was my that was my revelation. Those two little items. Although the first one I've been working on for a while. I mean, it's been evolving over time.
The hat's not brand new. The butt, that's new.
And I don't know if you understood. I sent you. Remember I
No, I didn't know what that was.
That's the ear cushion on that I replaced, and I dropped it.
It's on the floor of
in
the
an
airplane.
unreachable spot on the floor. And I had to wait till the flight ended to pick it up.
Yeah.
So it wasn't going well. The refurbishment of the headphones with the new ear thing that came off is not going well.
We were flying back from Salt Lake, and as I was putting my stuff away, my phone fell and bounced back. Oh no, earbud fell and bounced
no.
back. And I was like, we're just gonna have to wait for everyone to get off the plane and then start searching.
Yeah.
And it was right there, but still, like, yeah.
Yeah. When you drop a phone in an airplane, it makes a very distinct noise.
Thump.
It's very bassy.
Yeah,
I don't know.
there is no other sound like a phone falling on the floor of an airplane. It's true.
Yeah.
So where were you?
I went to Montreal.
Yes.
So I learned some things. Did not learn very much French. Turns out you don't have to speak a lot of it.
How convenient. It's legally
is.
required, but
Yeah, they sort of eased up on that a little bit. That was a whole 1970 thing. Did you know that the largest Jewish population in Canada was Montreal until 1970? And that's when they changed the law to require French signage. You couldn't even name something. Like there's a flower. It's like 5 roses flower. They had to change the word flower to farina. at great expense. It was a historical thing, and so most of the people who were used to getting matzo balls and delicatessens and all the I guess Yiddish Jewish origin were fed up with it, and so they moved to Toronto. So now Toronto is the largest Jewish population. I learned a lot. I was listening to podcasts on the way to Montreal, as I do when I travel.
Have you been there before?
I had been there in 2017.
Okay.
I did not accomplish as much as I did this time. Also, I did a lot more research. It was more of a at that time. It was cold. It was November. It was in November, end of November.
Ooh.
It was brutally cold. They had ice sculptures. I remember that. And the only thing that I really wanted to do was do the seal, the brewery, because they had Pêche Mortale and they had a spice beer. I can't remember. It was named after the spice route, so I guess that would be Epices, Route de Epices or something like that. I don't know. That was what they were known for. Is like when you just get out of the home brewing thing, you learn about, Le Fin de Môme and
Right. Yeah.
and those Unibrew beers and Du Gisio. The two things you learn about Montreal, right?
Right.
Yeah, it was illegal for anyone who was not Christian or male to travel from Europe to Montreal because it was a French protectorate or colony, if you will. And the first person who is of Jewish origin to
If you were
land,
not Christian.
Yeah.
Or not male.
yeah, you could not travel to. This was in the 1600s, 1730s, I think. And the first person to break that was, I think her name was she had a name that started with an E. Might have been Emily, but she changed her name to Jacques or something like that. And she was discovered immediately. And they said, well, you can do one of two things. You can go back or you can convert. So she went back. And yeah.
That's a big journey in the 1700s. It's quite a choice.
But 30 or 40 years later, somebody set up a merchant and the first synagogue, and that was one of the reasons. The fur trade is one of the reasons why there was an Eastern European Jewish population. I learned all this because I wanted to understand Montreal smoked meat, and that is the Jewish deli specialty in Montreal.
And how is Montreal smoked meat different?
I don't know. It does taste delicious, though.
Oh, wonderful.
I don't know if it's related to the Montreal steak seasoning. I should. That's something I should look up.
Do we
before
still
I do
sell
this.
that, or
Oh, yeah.
we have to extra tariff it? I don't know what's going on.
The funny thing
It's
is,
named in Montreal. It's made in America, but we're gonna have to tariff you. Sorry.
my wife's business function, they had a gathering, and in the past they've gone to local places. They went to Trois Brasseurs. It's a brew pub. In the past, they went to this brewery that was in a nunnery the year before. They went to the Keg.
Oh. I mean, born in Vancouver.
Was it?
Yes,
Oh,
Canada.
okay.
Yeah.
But it is a giant chain.
Yes, it is that. Yes.
There's 2 here, 3 maybe.
Well, in the Southeast Valley, we've got 2 for sure.
Yeah. So
Cooper's Hawk and the Keg are growing together.
I was like, why would you do this? And she was like, yeah, some people grumbled about it. And one guy said, well, I had a really great steak. I said, that's because that guy has never paid more than $12 for a steak. He had to spend $35 to $45. So of course it tasted good.
It was perfect because it's so expensive.
Right. But don't you think a city named after a spice, or a spice you would go to an actual Montreal steak situation? Yeah.
It's deep. Some
Yeah.
deep stuff.
Yeah.
Well, sorry they didn't get to experience. How many people are at this conference?
I don't know.
30?
I don't
100?
know. This time I didn't even intersect with
At
them.
this
And in
event.
fact,
Oh, you didn't go to the Keg?
I
ever?
didn't. And in
Okay.
fact, my wife elected out of it. she met me on my adventure. So
Great.
So it takes about 4.5 hours to get to Philadelphia, and another hour and some odd to Montreal with a layover. So you leave at 10 in the afternoon or in the morning, and you get there after midnight. Like to your hotel, you're like spending 30 minutes trying to get
Yeah.
tucked in.
I mean, just looking at the flights from Phoenix to DC,
Yeah.
it's rough.
Well, there is a direct on Air Canada.
Oh.
That I know. And I don't know how we got there earlier. We got there earlier in 2017 because I don't know.
Because airlines change their schedules. It's
Probably.
weird, but true.
Probably.
Like daily.
So, yeah. But, on the flight, you fly from Philadelphia up the coast, over Long Island, see New York City. Okay. Look at that.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, you
That's the Hudson?
Yeah, you up the Hudson.
You're very low. Is everything okay? Is that
This is a
Newark?
regional jet.
Is that Newark air traffic control? What's going on?
Yeah, no. There's Manhattan. That's a close-up of Manhattan, and then I think that's Albany.
That's a beautiful picture.
And
Look at
then-
that sunset.
Then you're landing. These are all landing photos.
All right, great.
Yeah. No, so it's cool. Like, and on the approach to Philadelphia, I'm looking over the wing. We're on the wing. There's a little window. I didn't have enough time to snap a photo, but it's a nuclear reactor right down there.
Cool.
Like, didn't the city of Phoenix sue Tempe because
They didn't want him flying over the nuclear reactor?
Phoenix didn't want a stadium in Tempe because the flight plan would have direct the planes over a credit union. The credit union was like 8 stories or something like that. It's my credit union, by the way.
It seems odd.
Yeah. But anyway, there's a nuclear
Hey,
reactor.
it's okay. No big deal.
Yeah.
Credit union. It's a building. What are you talking about? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's even before I got there.
Wow.
So, Monday, I did some walking. Look at this.
Are we renaming this Rob's Travel Blog?
Yeah, we are.
We should. It's great.
That is a firehouse.
Whoa.
It looks like a castle. It looks like the castle from Strange Brew.
Whoa, that is bonkers.
And it's not the only one. Like, there's other ones like that. So I got up early and walked. I wanted to get a bagel. There are 2 known, everyone says go to these 2 bagel places. I think they're interchangeable, honestly. They are good bagels. They are New York style. If you're familiar, they're a little crispier. One is open till midnight. The other one's 24 hours. So, like, really, if you really, really, really wanted to get a bagel and you couldn't squeeze it in, you can always squeeze that in.
That's pretty nice.
Got on the metro. They have 3 lines.
The bagel place by my house is open like 4 days a week from 6 a.m.
Yeah.
till like noon or 1.
Mhm.
24-hour bagel shops. This is amazing. Canada is living in the future.
Well, they're not really designed for you to hang out. They have a walk-up window, which I assume they just look at as a inconvenience that they have to put up with. And everyone just eats.
Apparently, we have to sell these things too.
Well, I think they're more geared for restaurants or people in the neighborhood buying 2 dozen of them at a time. They're very good, but if you're just an individual, it's really difficult to justify buying a giant thing of cream cheese and 1 bagel. And
Trying to get me some bagels here, man. Hook a brother up.
they're good. They're so good that you could eat them dry, which I did. Like, I'm just,
You're dogging a bagel?
yeah.
Wow.
It gets better. But I went to Fairmont. The other one is, I don't know what it is. Someone will tell you.
On Fairmont?
There are also a couple meat places that you want to go to. Jewish delis. One is Schwartz's and the other is Lester's. There might be another one. In fact, there was another one. I
So
didn't get to go
they've
to it.
recaptured some of the Jewish ethnic vendors back to Montreal after they all did their exodus to Toronto.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There's a strong community there.
Okay, good.
You walk and there are Are you familiar with Hasidic Jews?
Yes.
The men wear long black coats, tall top hats, or bowlers. They're rounded. The hair, yeah, the beards, and then the curls. Yes, yes. And
Were those the purveyors of bagels there, or was it?
no, they. I don't know what they were.
Okay,
They were either
they're in the community.
yes, walking
Great.
around,
Excellent.
waving to people in cars.
Huh.
Because there's a big community there.
Cool.
I think more the lay people are wearing just, I guess, regular Jew stuff, Jewish stuff. I don't know.
I don't know.
No, like, but the women wear these longer dresses. I don't know, more casual than the Hasidic
Okay.
male Jew.
Right, the casual
Um,
Hasidic Jew
yeah.
outfit. Got it. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I just felt like I'm walking around, I'm eating a bagel. I felt like I was in New York City and I should be listening to the Beastie Boys or
That's
something.
wonderful. I
You
love
know.
that. Yeah, that's cool.
It is. There's a lot of neighborhoods.
And that's a whole nother, like, there are so many different cultures that we don't experience here in our little suburban
Yeah.
enclave of Phoenix.
Yeah, it got me really kind of wondering, like, how could this work? Could it ever work in Phoenix? And obviously it can't work
In the same way.
in the same way. And this
Walkable
this-
cities. Ooh, man, I've been watching a lot of YouTubes about urban planning and walkable cities.
Yeah.
Oh, it's dangerous to go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I went to Lester's. Lester's opens at 10 a.m.
excellent.
So I had
Lester's meat. Oh my
Montreal
Christ.
smoked poutine.
That
Yeah.
is so much meat, I don't even know what to do. Wow.
Yeah. And
If you're not watching this on the YouTube, then you're missing out because,
yeah.
oh my gosh.
I put it on my social media. Yeah, you got dry sausages. You've got all these very vintage signs. Yeah, it's. They served me a Sleeman's Pale Lager, like that, upside down in
An
a
upside down bottle in a
plastic frozen
plastic
mug.
mug with ice crystals in it. Okay.
No, I think that's
Gel.
yeah.
Yeah.
They
I've
were very
seen
proud
those
of that.
things. Yeah, that's nice.
They
That's
were very
kind of
happy
them.
with that.
Good.
Yeah, I posted this picture. I said, "Stop staring at my Montreal smoked poutine. My eyes are up here."
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
It's so much meat. I don't even know. Ooh, and I just came from Cornish pasty, and that's a lot of meat.
Oh my gosh. Is this Reservoir? No, this is. God damn it! I forgot what brewery this is. I do not know. I went to this brewery though, down the street. Oh, La Hurricane. Le Hurricane. The Hurricane.
Sure,
Okay.
but French.
Yeah, French Hurricane. I don't think there's a lot of them.
Oh, there it is.
That's a session IPA. But look at that foamy head, that dense head body.
You know what? This is the Kernza IPA here
Yeah.
at Arizona Wilderness. It had a nice, dense head, and it's been half an hour since it was poured, so we
Right.
don't expect it to be the same, but
No, I
it
love
was
that.
really nice. People are focusing on the head again.
So
Thank
this is
God.
the size of a lot of breweries, which is about the size of a lot of our smaller breweries.
Mhm.
But this one's in a restaurant. There are 100% brew pubs. I don't know. There might be one or two,
Distribution breweries.
right, that might have a tap room, or one at least that does not. That I was on the precipice of going to if I hadn't made it there. But they had what is this? That's the Polish smoked sour Grodziskie. Thank you. That one is maple and oak barrels. Grodziskie.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, they were delicious.
Innovation.
That one I kind of dug up on my own, and it was also close to Lester. So like
La
these-
Arcana?
yeah. So I put all the things in.
Can I say it in Spanish?
I put all the things in a map because I'm like, I want to go here, but I also wanted to see what's around. This was a close one. I did a little research, listened to a podcast. I don't recommend the podcast because it was it was a little off color, and they reviewed beers. Maybe that's somebody's jam, but it was.
Where was it from?
I don't know. They were United States based, but they got a bunch of beers from Montreal. And I just, like, I had, like, what do you listen to your podcast on? 1.2 maybe?
125, yeah.
Yeah, I listen to like 2.25 because I'm just like, I don't want to hear all their bullshit. I want to hear about, and it was just a review.
That's what everyone's doing right now.
Yeah, I know. That's fine. 1.2 and I won't be offended.
It'll be fine. It's fine.
1.3, I talk fast, so you're going to get.
You'll miss out on shit. Oh.
And of course, you saw this sign. There's a sign here, beer 2 for the price of 1.
2 for 1 beers.
Yeah.
So illegal in America.
Yeah. Might be illegal there, though. We don't know.
Yeah.
I do know.
I will assume it's legal there.
I do know that they cannot sell you a beer to go unless you buy food. So you actually have to buy food, and then you can buy a beer to go, which sort of...
And then you can just walk around with it on the street.
It sort of mirrors the whole idea of you can take a bottle of wine to go if you open it and have a meal, and you can take the rest. I don't think they want you to just take a full bottle, but would the law require you to open the bottle, serve some amount of it, and put the cork back in?
In Arizona, yes.
Probably, yes. But
in Montreal, couldn't say.
yeah. Well, no. I mean, would practically anyone do that?
Yes.
Would someone just go in the back and talk to the manager, and all of a sudden
there's a bottle of wine in a bag?
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe. Crazier things have happened.
Don Say gave me a bunch of tips. Like Don Say from All About Beer, and he told me about this tap room, craft beer bar, which I thought he told me was the best in the world, the best ever, or best in Montreal. I couldn't find him actually saying that, but I'm going to tell you, I had
It's
a
called
great time.
Vices and Versa.
Yeah, and it's a
Oh,
wonderful
it's a cool
bar.
patio. Get out of here.
Well, wait. Oh, it gets better. We're just panning from the door with the 2040 list.
Oh my God,
Look at this,
gorgeous.
a giant
Get the
maple
fruitcake
tree.
out here.
Everybody having a good time.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah. So
That looks like the patio at
that's kinda
Beaver
like,
Street.
yeah, or kind of like Casey Moore's, but
Yeah.
different trees.
Yeah.
Like, there's a list of 40 things here. 2 are missing, and of course, I think this is where the beers that Don said I should have are those 2 that are gone. But I don't know half of the things in here because they're either local or they had a lot of European, French beers. It would have been great to spend all afternoon there.
And does it have styles listed or
Oh,
not?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
not their thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Bitter blonde, rock beer,
American IPA.
Citra. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's all there.
It's all
I
in
got-
words, and they have like things above the letters. It's so weird.
Yeah. So your Google translates instantly.
Awesome.
I mean,
how about your little glasses?
I didn't buy
But,
that.
come on.
Then you're talking to yourself. Like you're having a conversation and no
Oh,
one's
you have a problem with that?
talking.
I don't. I
Yeah.
suggested that Matt Brennan get some for his venture to.
Yeah, he would need
Japan.
it. The Google thing, like, it will translate languages as you're looking through the viewfinder, or if you snap the photo, you can get a hard copy that you don't have to. It's a little hard to read a menu with the live version because every time you move, it recalculates. And
Yeah.
I went to Dudecil, of course,
Yes.
the Pech Mortal,
Lovely.
Imperial
I love
Stout.
Cool.
They start. I mean, like, I don't know, like, I don't remember what it was back when I went, but they definitely have a wider variety of lagers, and everybody had a Czech lager, Czech style beer on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Look at
wonderful.
that. Stouts, milds, pills, Rauch beer, New England IPA, beer,
Prague.
beer de Blessure. I don't know what this is.
What are you looking at? Solstice. Oh, it's cherry sour of some sort.
That looks like mango. I mean, I'm just using my English language.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it's the same beer, but one's cherry and one
Yeah.
is mango. Oh my goodness, look at them go.
Yeah.
They're doing shit like we do.
Yes.
Wait, I mean, we're doing shit like they do. I don't know what's happening.
I don't know. Like, I mean, this is the brewery. It's tiny. I mean, look at that kettle. And it's the same. I had a little conversation with Jeff from La Cumbra. Because he was like, yeah, I got there in 2007, and they had all these very European yeast characters, and we're all just using Chico, and I really want to understand it. And like, I didn't have any money for food or anything, and I just, he really enjoyed his time. And I'm like, well, it seems to be mostly the same.
Great.
But again, could have spent a lot more time there. But no, I'm moving
Time
on.
is a finite resource.
Look at that. That's one of their compost bins.
Yeah,
Like,
and your foot.
it's tiny.
Yeah,
Like I'd have
it's
to.
like a little mini trash can you get at Bed Bath and Beyond.
Yeah. It's like it's like the full size, but small.
Tiny.
And I'd have to bend down. Like, I'd have to walk around like I got a hunchback.
You don't have to use the wheels. You can carry it. It's
Yeah,
okay, bro.
carry it, I know. It's very weird. Went to a neighborhood bar that was recommended by Alan McLeod. It is in a commercial area. It was good just to take a break.
Is that Blue Moon?
It is not Blue Moon.
Damn it.
No, it is Kronbacher.
Kronbauer. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. It was just good to get a rest there. But I was in search. This is not it. This is La Baruth, that neighborhood place. That's a sour. I was in search of a rhubarb saison,
Oh.
and if I would have found it and it was in a package, I would have,
Why did you decide that was what you wanted?
because I like rhubarb.
Yeah, sure. Rhubarb's great.
And
You're from Wisconsin, so you
there's-
like rhubarb. That's the thing.
There's a brewery called Reservoir, and they have had a rhubarb Kolsch. They've had a rhubarb saison. And I thought, if I find a bottle of a rhubarb saison, I would bring that back. But I did not find it.
Aw, what a shame.
They did not have any rhubarb beer. I was very disappointed.
You went to that brewery and they didn't have any rhubarb beer?
Yeah, no.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well,
So I met.
sometimes the adventure is better than the journey.
Right.
I mean, better than the
This
destination.
is in the Plateau area. It's a very trendy neighborhood. Outdoor patios, different ethnic restaurants. I tried to get back there because, in listening on my podcast, I said, oh, here's a new thing that I didn't have on my list. It's Portuguese chicken. That is like a thing there.
Oh.
Yes. And I'll tell you, I did find a place, and I found the most white bread version of it, and I won't name it because it's not their fault. It was very popular. But also, it was at the end of my journey. It's hot. I'm standing in a
How
place.
hot was it?
It was in the 80s.
Is
But-
that Celsius or Fahrenheit?
It's Fahrenheit.
80 Celsius would be pretty warm, bro.
Yeah, no. It just, walking all day, and you go to a place, and it's a walk-up
You're
place.
6 beers in.
It's
You're a
walk-up
little
place,
tired.
and they have I'll skip over to that photo. I hope they just have racks of chickens on rotisseries going constantly, and you could just feel a blast of heat from the grill.
A blast of chicken heat.
Yeah.
Sounds
So,
fun. Okay.
What I learned is basically the chicken I had is not unlike the chicken you would go if you went to a Mercado here, and there's a guy cooking chicken out front.
Yeah.
Almost the same thing.
Right. Right.
The difference with Portuguese chicken is if you get the peri-peri sauce, but you don't get the peri-peri sauce that everyone get. You get something that has a lot more African spices in it, is what I'm told. That's what you want. I didn't find it.
Well,
So there's always next time.
sorry. Yeah, you still have a journey then.
Yeah.
Great.
So we went there. We back to the rhubarb beer. Brenda met me. We decided to go to this brewery called Masorum.
We'll check that out later.
It's Tuesday night, 6:30, 7 o'clock. The sun's going down. We get there, and I showed you the video. I have a video here. I want to say there's 500 or 600 people in this place.
Yeah.
Outdoors. The line had easily 100
Look
people.
at how young all those people are. Not that guy.
Yeah.
They're all like
Right.
in their 20s.
And bicycle helmets.
Yeah.
And so, anyone could. I said, "Hey, is it always this busy?" And they're like, "Oh, the weather's been great. It was not that great earlier," and that's a thing for sure, right? In this part of the country. But let me tell you, like,
That part of Canada.
this is the bike parking. This is only part of the bike park because they were all over the street too. The thing of it is,
That's a lot of effing bikes. Oh my god. Wow.
so
Okay.
they have a bike club,
Sure.
but these are people who ride their bikes on a regular.
Yeah.
They have protected bike lanes. And there was a lot of people throughout the day. I could see people riding their bikes. And again, it was a nice day, but like, people who have bikes who ride casually, they don't just all activate on the day, right? Just because the weather's nice.
Right.
Weather's nice. Oh, I go shopping or I could go on a walk. Like these people, like already in the mode. Like
We're biking every evening.
we're
We're
right.
gonna take a ride.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is part of it. So the difference is you have a culture that really is in groove with a place that said, oh, we will be that place. Like,
Yeah.
look, Oso has a little bit of that, but to be honest, it's not during a Tuesday night.
I mean, they definitely push their bikes. They have bike repair stations at
Right.
all of their restaurants.
Right.
Like, it is part of their culture. I do not see hundreds of bikes
Right.
piled on top of each other like that video. Like, how would that person get their bike out? They're just piled on top of each other.
Right. Right.
All right, it's my friend's bike. Once my 10 friends
Right.
decide they're going to go, I guess we'll all go.
Look at that logo. It's a skull. The Sorum is like Grim Reaper. M Cycling Club. Sorum Cycling Club.
It's like the tea bags.
That's not a word I would
But they have a much cooler
Look
logo.
at that branding.
Yeah.
Incredible. But yeah, like, so, I mean, the line went quickly, but like, there was 150 people in line to get a beer.
Wow.
But they're all moving politely, and I don't know. It was just like, craft beer isn't dead. Like, you're right. They're all young people. They're all young professional people. All of them had bike helmets. Like, there wasn't, like, I don't wear a bike helmet. Like, these are people who are geared for that, and this is their place. And we went down the street to one other place, and what one is this one? That's Four Origins.
That's 7-Up.
Yeah. By the way,
Intellectual property theft exists everywhere, folks.
I don't know. I'll have to look it up, and it won't be for the show. But there's a Muslim version of 7-Up, and they have the logo that communicates the brand and
And the faith.
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, but this place was bumping too. Like, yeah, there was a hockey game on, but no one was really paying attention to it. Food truck. It's a pretty big building. Not bad.
That's cool. Yeah.
Giant building. One of those prefab it would have been a multi-story building, but it's all one unit space. Yeah, so that was my full day. So probably 8 a.m. till 8 p.m., 12 hours.
Yeah.
I need a beer.
All right. Let's take a break.
Let's do that.
Then we'll get back to Montreal.
Arizona is a wildly beautiful place, brimming with over 100 brewing companies. I'm Rob Fulmer, the Director of Government and Community Affairs for the Arizona Craft Brewers Guild. I'm joined by Executive Director Andrew Baum. Together we cover the state, bringing you the best of what's happening at our breweries and beyond. Welcome to Arizona Beer Frontier.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's jump back in here.
Yeah, we should mention that we're at Wilderness
We should.
Brewing Company, the original in Gilbert.
Arizona Wilderness Brewing Company, Gilbert, Arizona. We're here at the tap room. Just walked in and started recording a podcast and
Right.
set up 3 cameras, a computer, 2 dudes talking the whole time. It's fine, absolutely fine. We're not yelling or anything.
I'd like to.
Okay.
I don't know. I was very excited about that day. Did a lot of walking. I don't even think I mentioned that I went to a farmer's market, beautiful farmer's market. The Jean Talon Farmer's Market, surrounded by restaurants, cheese stores, wine stores. I didn't do any commercial beer shopping. I didn't look at any packaged beers. I ran into one McDonald's and it kind of took me by surprise because they're not the kind where they have a giant parking lot and signage. It's just like in a
They have
building.
bikes.
No, just in a building, or
How do you not have a giant parking lot if you're at McDonald's?
it's in a cityscape, so people have to park on the street or people have to walk there. I don't know. You know, there are other parts of Montreal that I'm sure are more suburban, but that's not where I was.
City planning in America is trash. Go on.
Particularly Tucson is what I understand your feeling is.
No.
There's no planning. That's what you're saying.
I'm not saying any of that. All I'm saying is we put too much emphasis on giant parking lots between the road and the business. That's
Yeah.
all. So,
Have you noticed
Just
that
being
your
a nerd.
glasses don't always seem to reflect the photos you actually get on whatever medium you're storing them on?
mm.
You know what I mean? Like all of a sudden, like I know I took that picture. Where the hell is it?
Yeah, you're talking about your Meta Ray-Ban glasses. Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let me tell you, finishing on that before the break at Masorum and seeing all those people, like, I can't tell you how excited I was. Like, yeah, I mean, like this culture still survives in that kind of a place.
Yeah.
Like, craft beer isn't necessarily dead. It just has defined pockets of. I mean,
It's glorious in small spaces.
Well,
no,
I
it's
mean,
still great everywhere.
well, they leaned into what they do. Like, and I don't see a lot of difference between the way this looks and feels than the downtown Gilbert OSA, right? The difference is, to me, if Gilbert was 7 times its size with the type of downtown, I'm talking about downtown Gilbert was, the entirety of Gilbert was downtown.
and
Gilbert.
then everything else was the rest of Gilbert.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you're going to have more walkability. You're going to have more, you're going to be, well, hey, I don't want to walk 45 minutes. I'd like to take my bike down there. So can we?
And look, they have all these walkable spaces,
Right.
and the frontage of the businesses are on the road, and they prioritize pedestrians over traffic. So yeah,
And they have an underground system that, you know, it's like an all day pass is $10. You know, and
you're talking about Montreal,
Yeah.
not Gilbert.
Yes, yes, I am.
Sorry, I can't help myself.
In the morning, every 4 minutes another train. You know, as far as I know, they go at least till midnight because I was just checking schedules and didn't set the time. I'm like, oh yeah, there's still a train going at 1:45 or whatever. Less frequently, maybe every 15 or every half, but I don't know. I was very excited about that, and lots of beers. I mean,
Mitch Deli.
oh yeah, they had food there, so you could get your chicken sandwich, hamburger. It wasn't very culturally Montreal, but very brew pubby.
There was food.
Was food, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Poutine. I see a lot of
Yeah.
poutine. That's cultural Montreal.
yeah, that's true. Well,
I mean, to us.
yeah. The next day, I just did a lot more walking, and I don't even believe I had a beer destination plan. I'm pretty sure I didn't. Got up in our hotel. We stayed at the Intercontinental, which is downtown, which is close to Old Montreal. So I decided to get up and walk around Old Montreal, which I did in 2017. It's really more of a shopping district, tourism, old buildings, of course, yes. Notre Dame, their version of Notre Dame. I always seem to go to these places when they're partially
Under
being-
construction.
Yeah, I have
They're
this.
always under construction.
I have
It's
this-
not you, it's them.
I have this exact photo with the sun under one of the towers, behind one of the towers of the Notre Dame in Paris. But in my hotel was a version of a piece of the Berlin Wall, and I went there, and they had a bagel place, and someone could doubt me, but like it was just as good as the other bagels. It might even be from one of the two bagel places, but like I had 8 different kinds of cream cheese to choose from.
And you could just get one schmear.
I could sit down. I could have a cup of coffee. So I don't know. Look, man, I think people should go to those places, but
So, I mean, maybe an equivalent here would be like Proof Bread, which worked out of the garage for a while. Now it's
Production facility, but
Mhm.
also has retail spaces
Right.
throughout the city
yeah,
where they have that experience. But originally,
it was very similar. You could just get it at the farmers markets, and that's
that's where you got your proof.
right. Yeah, Barrio.
Barrio Bread in Tucson. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of a thrill to go to Moto Sonora and find a couple of loaves there, because if you're not planning
Fight
on
with
buying
the other people there.
To get them, like there's 5 people here. We only
Right.
got 10 loaves.
Oh, they're gone right now.
Yeah. In fact, is it related to Barrio Bagel Place here? Right across. They're connected somehow.
Barrio Bagel Place here.
Like right next door.
Oh,
The old
Oh
sign.
yeah, I see it now. Yeah.
Yeah. I know there's a chef involved with it because they do pizza slices too.
I'll check it out. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's all brand new.
Yeah.
I mean, it's new, like new.
Yeah. Actually, the guys that opened it asked me to be on their podcast tonight. It was right in the middle of the legislative session, and we had a miscommunication, and I was standing outside the Senate ready to talk on the phone and apologize for not being in a quiet, and then we never
Called you in.
connected.
Yeah.
It just fell through the cracks.
All right.
I walked to the old Molson plant, not the Molson Coolers plant, the Molson plant, the original. It was being partially torn down. It's destined to be condos and mixed-use shopping, I'm sure. But what is this? Oh, that's the old. This is the Notre Dame for sailors. They had Notre Dame Cathedral, and they had the Notre Dame for sailors. I mean, there's the clock tower.
The Molson Clock Tower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just
I actually think I remember seeing that before. That's weird.
administrative building, old facade. of the-
Brutalist administration building.
Yeah, well, it's like they have this 1800s version.
Everything's gorgeous, and then there's that.
Yeah, and then they just like, we'll just bolt on this, very 1970s red brick next to them,
Oh,
quarried
that was
stone.
concrete.
What are you talking about?
No, that other one, yeah. Oh, that looks like an administrative building
Yeah.
for the police.
Yeah, for sure.
Arizona Department of Revenue, right there. Boom.
Yeah, but it says Molson.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I hope everyone is watching this on YouTube to walk through it with us, because if they're listening in audio, this is going to be the
Well,
worst
now you're
cast ever.
no, man.
I mean, it's
I
valuable.
walked a
but-
long time just to take a few pictures because, I do want to celebrate and appreciate. I mean, that was a huge part of their culture,
Yeah.
and it was a lot of jobs. And I've seen that happen with Pabst, Blatz, Schlitz. They're all like mixed-use, kind of places in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And then, something else that no one else will do except me. I walked to the plaque commemorating Jackie Robinson because he was there in Montreal before he moved to the Dodgers. So he spent time there. And if you watch any of the Jackie Robinson bioepic stories or whatever, talk about his time in Montreal. So I did that, and there's the chicken place that I won't talk about because it's probably very fine, but they don't need my bad comments necessarily.
What is that?
Oh, so I did buy Lester's
Smoked meats.
and
Yes.
I knew wasn't able to bring them back, so I just
What? Why? What?
cannot bring Canadian meat back.
Oh yeah, we have very strict meat rules.
Yeah, but
Fuck.
but they're not going to get changed, even though apparently we're just letting cattle have all kinds of,
No.
and there's no more
No.
USDA.
Uh.
All right. This is the foods that you should bring back, and that is ketchup chips.
From Circle K?
No, I don't know. It's not a Circle K. It's just a K brand. I'm not sure.
Okay. All right.
I did
Smart.
learn that in Australia,
Yeah.
Kmart is thriving,
Oh, I bet.
and they also own the Australian Target, which is not affiliated whatsoever with
Right.
America's Target.
So, Woolworths is
Yes.
an Australian brand.
Huh.
Woolworth.
Yeah,
Wool.
sure.
Anyway.
There was also a Canadian Target that had 14 stores and only lasted for 2 years and then died. Again, not affiliated with American Target. Well, kind of, but could not use the same supply chain, so it was like hell.
Right. Well, it would be private equity now anyway. Smarties.
Smart.
They're not the same Smarties. They are
They
M&M
look
size.
Very different.
And then I don't know if you can get this Kit Kat,
I have never seen anything like that.
salted caramel Kit Kat.
It's got swirls.
It was delicious.
Canada's amazing.
And then I
Kidding.
bought cheese.
There's
That's
a
about
cheese.
4 ounces of cheese.
I would eat the shit out of that.
You can buy a brand new Cars crackers.
Yeah.
Fit 4 ounces of cheese. You can open it, stuff that in there, and look at how beat up that package looks. Because I just jammed it in my backpack.
You smuggled it?
Not a single broken cracker. No, you can bring back cheese. You just have to declare it. I just didn't declare it because I'm like,
I don't know, man. Look, seems to me like you're breaking the law.
no.
You just didn't declare it. Oh my
That's-
god, this is outrageous.
I didn't declare any of this stuff. Come on.
In your backpack?
Yeah.
One serving of each? Oh, you're a rebel.
Oh, I can't bring this in?
Oh.
That is a piece of cheese.
That's
that
what you
take
do
a
with the
picture.
meat. Well, hey, Montreal sounds great.
I think you should spend more time than I do. I think a 4-day weekend would be ideal, especially if you have a couple other people with you. There is more to do. I mean, I had 7 or 8 other restaurants I could have gone to. Like, you can only eat so many meals. I literally was telling you, I'm going to try to eat 5 times today. But when you start out with a giant plate of Montreal smoked meat covered atop, enough carbohydrates to fuel an entire village of fries.
I could not have eaten anything the whole day after that. Also, I would that.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm getting the meat sweats. Just thinking about it.
Yeah. You know, one I would have liked to. They're known for their alleys, their green alleys. Alleys were. It's the same in the United States. Alleys were popular in the early part of city development. They were where servants entered the house, or people who, your maintenance people, your city utilities all came through the alleys, and then they fell out of disuse. They became this kind of areas that people ignored through trash in, became, especially in urban cities, became dangerous places, right? Dirty places, and the height of alleys being at their worst was the 1970s, and then as part of the environmental movement, people started to plant trees or block them off to traffic or limit the traffic that went through them. And unfortunately, it's known as the city of 100 alleys that are green. I only walked through one of them. There you go. Here's my BC boys. They put playgrounds in them. I don't think I have a picture of it.
Oh, very interesting.
They're more public spaces. They allow the trees to grow, so they're actually cooler than the street in the summer.
And buildings
On each side, shade.
Yeah. And so I listened to a podcast about that, and a guy that documented 438 alleys, and he's walked
oh
through
my
all of them.
god! Wow.
And he's like, I'm not done. Like, I've walked through some of these. I've never seen this one in winter. I've never seen this one in fall. And yes, I would have liked to have done that. I would have liked to have gotten into the other ethnic foods, including Portuguese chicken, because they say, this is kind of like the beer thing. Like, everybody knows breweries for IPAs. Like, yes, it's a double-edged sword. People are excited about our chicken, but we also have seafood and other things.
Right. Yeah.
Not everything we do in Portugal is chicken or is
Lamb.
grilled.
Yeah.
And they're like, and like she's like one of the owners of a restaurant. She's like, I try to put these other menu items and people are disappointed and they say I'm not being authentic. And I'm like, these are the foods I grew up
Have
with.
you ever been to Portugal?
These are the foods I grew up with. How can you tell me I'm not Portuguese? Not everything is this chicken. So, like in the brewing industry, like, oh, you guys make us IPAs. Like, well, we try to put these other things out and, like it's push and pull, right?
Right.
So, I don't know. It has a higher beer value city than I had time to devote to it. I can definitely drink more beer than eat food, but that's probably not a great idea. So, and I wanted to walk a lot. Although towards the end, when I was trying to fit a lot of things in, I, ended up Ubering. There's no scooters.
It's not uncommon.
And there's rental bike stations, but they're, as well as I do.
Annoying as all get out. Everywhere.
As a visitor, having scooters and bicycles that are not at stations that you could just find on a map and pick up and go is very efficient. But if you live there, it is kind of a nuisance. Like, I live in Tempe in a neighborhood, and the only reason I see Lime scooters is because we have some college students, and like, for the most part, they're not in my way or they don't bother me, but every once in a while, I mean, they're just strewn apart all over the sidewalk.
Yeah.
It's not ideal, right?
Right.
So that's the transportation issue. And I'm glad you're watching walkability videos, because like I tell people, like, urban planning and decisions about that are just as important as any other reason for success of a brewery. It's a reflection of the neighborhood, and sometimes a brewery is aspirational in an area, other times cynically it is a negative thing.
It's the fire of gentrification.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, things like that are important. I can't say enough good things about Montreal. I really want to go back, especially since both times I've gone, my wife was only able to enjoy part of it, and I know more about that city now than I ever did, and I'm super excited. So, you travel with me. I don't always do it on time. I don't always get it done until the last minute, but I try to get as much information as I possibly can so that
You do extensive research for everywhere you go.
I do, even if it's just on the plane.
Yeah.
It's 100% that. And the Untapped resource is listening to podcasts. The CBC has two great podcasts. One is called Secret Life of Canadians.
The Canadian Broadcasting Company.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Secret Life of Canadians, which is about a lot of different cultural things that people might not know about various cities and all that stuff. And the other one I listened to was is basically ask a question about Montreal. So they have a question of the week, and most of these things are 10, 15 minutes tops, 20 minutes, because it's a half an hour show and they have their little spots, their commercial advertisement spots built in. Super easy. I was a little disappointed in some of the beer podcast stuff. There wasn't a lot of contemporary stuff. There isn't. There are people talking about beers in the United States. There are people talking about restaurants, but there's really nobody filling in like, what do you do when you have so much? You only have so much time, and why is it this city is different than any other city? So. Yeah, I leaned into that. This is what this show is sort of becoming when I talk about where I travel. And I don't know, like, it's Friday. We might be a bi-weekly for the summer because I'm going to Milwaukee with my mom. It's more of that kind of trip. It's not a Montreal trip.
You can fill in with best ofs. It's fine.
Sure. But I get back for 2 days, and then we might be going to Edinburgh for like 4 days.
And then you have another trip.
DC.
And then you have another trip to
I don't know.
far away. It's on your calendar.
Yeah.
FYI.
So, yeah, I just, until we get ahead of it, or maybe just not get ahead of it. I don't know. We'll see. Every other week might be the thing until fall. But I'm always happy to sit down and chat with you, and if we record it, do our best to put
Great,
it out there.
great.
Like, kind of just been all about what I did.
Oh, here's what
there
I
stuff-
did. I didn't do anything. I just did stuff at the house. My work week is getting ready for Real Woody, and we're managing the election right now. I did meet with the A250 group this week, and the travel and tourism specifically. I found a contact to get our beers into the Governor's Conference on Tourism. And yeah, it was a productive week, but nothing very sexy or fun, just like work. Oh, I did have a meeting with Guy Bartness from
yeah.
Rob ESG.
Yeah.
We had a happy hour for our breweries at Casual Pint in Phoenix.
Nice.
It was very great. We had some brewers show up. We all hung out, and it was so incredible to listen to all the nerdy technical shit that I don't really get exposed to these days. And it's just so fun to have people discussing like different maltsters and different varieties of two-row that might be better than another one.
Right.
But again, like, it was quick. It was at a bar. It wasn't really changing anything, but it was really cool that he put that together for everyone.
Yeah. Well, more of it. More of it. I mean, it's not all designed to change the world. Or change it a lot. The more we get together, the easier some of the heavy lifting will be when we get to that point. So I'm sad I missed it because I like Guy. I've known Guy for a long time too, and it would have been fun to take part in that. But got DC coming up. I did get an Airbnb. I have an extra spot if you find somebody who might want to make it. I haven't decided if I'm going to go anywhere before or after. I thought Atlanta, but I'm not so sure. We'll see.
I mean, you got to get back to when is kimchi weekend.
Yeah, I don't know.
I heard something about it. I think it's right around the same time.
Could be.
I
Could
think
be.
it's in July, either before or after. So, heads up.
Yeah. So
Hang in there.
he's talking about the Montgomery kimchi. Made that came last year. So we'll see. I don't know. If nothing else, we have to make a decision about GABF.
My decision is that I will be going on Saturday, going in early, attending the award ceremony, and going home Saturday night or potentially Sunday morning, depending on,
Right.
I don't know.
Right. Well,
So not a booth
Right.
is the decision I made for me.
right. I was going to go no matter what because I have been going since 2007. But I could help out, or I could, if we don't have a booth, I'll just, I'm sure any of the other states would enjoy having someone pitch
Yeah,
in.
for sure.
So-
for sure.
All right, well, we got a lot to talk about once the board gets seated,
That's right.
and I'm happy to help out with that and see where it goes.
Those come out on Monday. Oh, who won? I already know, but I'm not telling anyone yet. All right, good chat. Thanks, Rob.
Cheers.
Remember, sometimes the beer finds you.
This is not a beer podcast. This is a podcast about beer.
Good one.